Hi guys, this is Tablet-News.com and I'm here with the Nokia 700, one of the first Symbian Belle devices, a follow-up to Symbian Anna. And as you can see, these are its home screens. There are more now, they seem to be more fluid, but there's more than meets the eye. That's all I can say about this device. For starters, let's have a look at the design. The device is 9.7mm thick, it weighs 96 grams. So it's one of the lightest and thinnest phones out there. Nokia calls this the smallest smartphone in the world, and most likely they're referring to the weight, that's 96 grams. And also it's not so wide, as you can see. It reminds me a bit of the Xperia Ray, but even smaller than that. And let's have a look at the rest of the stuff on this phone. The display is a 3.2 inch in diagonal. The resolution is 360 over 640 pixels. The screen uses AMOLED clear black technology and is protected by Gorilla Glass. At the bottom we have the three buttons that light up, as you can see right here. This one in the middle, that will trigger the apps, and once it's pressed it can do some multitasking, as shown right here, and the call and call buttons on the left and on the right. On the left side of the phone, no button, no port, nothing. And on the right side we have volume buttons, this lock screen button, and finally a camera button. Sadly they are all very tiny and metallic and very hard to press. At the back side you have the 5 megapixel camera and the little button that locks the battery cover. Nothing on the bottom, and at the top we have the charging port, micro USB, and finally the audio jack. Now let's move on to the specs. As you can see, since this is Symbian Belle, it also supports landscape orientation, so that's a pretty cool feature that you haven't seen on many Nokia phones. I have to mention that this device comes with about 2 GB of internal memory, 1 GB of ROM, and 512 megabytes of RAM. There's also a micro SD card slot in case you want more memory, and the CPU is an ARM11 1 GHz. That's pretty good for running Symbian Belle. Other than that, we have the HSDPA connectivity, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 3.0, stereo FM radio, GPS, NFC, and a compass. The battery is a lithium-ion unit. That's 1080 mAh and should provide about 7 hours of talk time. I also installed an application for this battery that will provide more details. Here it is, it's called Battery Monitor. It shows the average use with call time, the percentage of the battery. We have some statistics for use, daily average, past week, and other stuff like that. Okay, getting back to the device, as I said, the smallest smartphone in the world. Its audio jack can also be used as a TV out, so says Nokia. And as far as connectivity goes, you have quad band GSM, GPRS, Edge, so you can use this phone all over the world. The camera is a 5 megapixel unit with 720p capture. It's also got fixed focus, sadly, LED flash, geotagging, and no front camera, in case you're wondering. As you can see, there is the signal on the upper part of the screen right here, and now I'm going to show you a little bit of that grip that I've experienced with this device. So watch the signal as it decreases. As you saw, I just lost 2-3 bars, and now I remove my hand and the signal will increase again. It's increasing, so it's full now. So the dead grip is active on this device, and it was active also on the HTC Sensation XE that I reviewed for you earlier on. Now let's see what's new in Symbian Belle. Well, for one thing, we have 6 home screens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Each of them is customizable. Also, we have now a notification bar, like on Android and iOS 5. This one shows you mobile data, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and silent. So you can tweak your profiles and get your notifications from this area. Pretty useful bar, but considering the screen is so small, it's hard to get a grip of it. Of course, you have a ton of widgets and shortcuts that you can add to the screen. Here's the stuff you can add: contacts, numbers, FM radio, mail, top apps, and a lot of stuff. You can also add shortcuts if you want to. You can change the wallpaper, select an image, and more stuff. Now I'm going to try and load our website with the browser. Symbian Belle also brings a new and improved browser. It also brings new widget sizes, also brings better NFC integration. And let's try to find that browser. Here we are with the browser. I hope that our Wi-Fi isn't acting up as it did earlier. So let's try to load gsndome.com. The keyboard is pretty cramped, at least for my fingers. So hopefully I will get it right when typing the website. GSNDome is loading on the small 3.2-inch screen, and here we are. It has loaded. Not the best browsing experience, I have to admit. It also stutters a bit when it loads. I'm gonna try a little bit of pinch to zoom, but as you can see, it's having some problems rendering the page. Seems to want a certificate. Anyway, the browsing experience should be better once the page loads completely. Okay, now it's time to get to the multimedia section. For example, let's get to the music. We have a new Korn album. Let's try to listen to some Korn. This is the speaker area right here. We also have an equalizer. I'm using the bass booster, rock. This was a song of Korn and Skrillex, but I have to say I'm disappointed by this speaker at the bottom. Considering that the design is all centered around this speaker, I would have expected more. But maybe there's some dust inside it, or I don't know, it's blocked by something. Anyway, I'm disappointed by this. Now let's try some video playback and be disappointed again, or at least I am. In the video section I copied an NKV file. Maybe I want too much from this device, but it will play the video but not the audio. So it plays NKV files with 1080p resolution, and it plays them well, but audio not so much. Let's try to skip in the video. As you can see, it just said it's loading. Now let's try some video with sound, but this time courtesy of an application, not a movie. Let's try some CNN video. This is the CNN video app that comes with the phone. Let's try some news and play it.
Of Japan's coast, we're getting a new view of the aftermath via Google's Street View. We'll take a look at this street in the town of Notori before the disaster. It looks like an ordinary small town street in Japan. Well, here's what it looks like now. Empty space everywhere, with only a handful of buildings still standing.
Okay, you get the idea. Video playback is possible, but do not force it with MKV or 1080p content. Let's see what else we've got. As you can see, tons of widgets. We also have a calendar right here that I have synced. Let's see the full calendar if possible. Here's the month view of the events that you have. Also on the 25th there's the Christmas. Have to remember that. There's a contact section, obviously. There's the option of calling people, so if you want to see the dialer, Maybe you'll have to do better than that. So let's try to open the contacts, do some voice call. This is the received calls area, the missed calls area, and other stuff. So here's the dialer that I was searching for. I would have expected it to open once I press this green button, but no. It seems I have to press this middle area and type in the number. I have to mention that one thing that annoys me is that when I enter the application area, the zooming is pretty imprecise. Sometimes it goes crazy. For example, if you're at the edge of the screen, it tries to do a scroll of the pages, but it simply goes erratic. So let's see what else. It's time to have a look at the camera, I guess. So let's keep the camera button pressed, enter the camera, and see this little guy. Of course, the camera is good as usual on Nokia devices. However, that fixed focus is kind of killing it. Now let's see what options we have here. There's the flash option, the custom portrait, landscape, night scene modes. We also have a couple of more options: face detection, grid, self timer, ISO, sharpness, and settings. Okay, enough with that. Of course, we have the usual Nokia OV store, or Nokia store, how they call it. There's also the music store, or Nokia Music, or whatever they call it now. So here's the Nokia store. Looks pretty nice, but the apps I seem to find on this device are rather apps for Symbian 3. If you ask me, they're too simplistic. We also have YouTube. That, of course, is a mere link for the browser, not an app in itself, so that's a bit disappointing. We also have this email app. That's actually pretty simplistic and pretty nice. I loaded my Gmail account and it looks just fine. Here are the options: new mail, search, collapse all, mark, and settings. I also tried to do some social networking, but it wouldn't allow me. I tried to sync my Facebook and Twitter account, but it just said bad gateway over and over again. So if you're good at this, you might give me some suggestions on how to get rid of this. I also have Nokia Maps available. So here's the map. Trying a bit of satellite view. Here we are, trying in landscape with some landmarks nearby. You can search stuff. There's also a menu with more stuff. You can check in. It says that the certificate is out of date. You can also use the driving section. If you want to drive home or to destination, it will guide you. There's also a walking section and a weather section that earlier on crashed on me, this application. Well, now it seems to be working. Shows that are 4 degrees right now in Bucharest. Okay, let's see what else we have on this device. A ton of apps, as I said. There is also the gallery, when you can see all the pictures I've taken recently, including this little fellow. You can do some zooming. Don't expect great quality, it's fixed focus. Some of the pictures I have taken. They don't look that bad, but it's not the best Nokia camera I have ever seen. I'll give you that much. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have a zip application, so you can unzip different archives. We have Lingo, the classic app, Shazam, Quick Office if you want to open Excel files and documents. Ovi Music is of course here. You can choose a country. Let's say I choose Argentina. Shows me some of the tunes that are most popular locally, some album downloads. Takes a while to enter it. So here we are, local artists and popular artists. Here are the genres: Latino, pop, electronica, dance. Let's try Latino music. New artists, recommendations, most downloaded, the usual sections. And now let's go back and close some of the apps. I bet there are a ton open. Here we are, 12 apps open. The phone is still going, courtesy of that 1 GHz CPU. Okay, let's get rid of that. And let's see what other interesting apps we have for you. There's also an Adobe Reader app, a photo editor, video editor. We saw that before. There's NFC, National Geographic, OV-Sync. That's pretty useful. There's a Files app, a file manager. Of course, the handset comes with Fruit Ninja and Angry Birds. A Climate app, that useful battery monitor. And now I have an interesting app to show you. It's called Ski Info. So if you want to go skiing, it shows you the statuses of the resorts in Europe and America. Let's say I've chosen, I don't know, France, and it seems to be closed, this station. Let's try this one, also closed. Maybe if we try in Austria, closed again. Doesn't seem to be many open stations at this time. Closed. Maybe one in Canada. Let's try in the USA. Oh, here we are. We have the last snowfall, we have the weather, open tracks, and it shows me info from 7 December. This one is also closed, so there doesn't seem to be much snow around the world. But at least we have an app for that, so that we know when the stations are open and where they closed. Okay, now let's see some games. For example, I have the newest version of Snake. So this game has evolved a lot. It seems to want my age. All these apps take quite a while to load, so that can be bothersome. So let's see how Snake has evolved over the years. Trying the classic Snake. I'm really curious to see the evolution over the years. It's been around, what, 8-9 years since Snake appeared, or maybe more. So here is the good old Snake. I seem to have a game over. Doesn't seem to want to go to landscape. Lots of ads that are bothering me. It's pretty hard to play Snake using the touchscreen, and all these bothersome commercials. Nah, this is too hard with the touchscreen, so I guess I'll just stick to Angry Birds Magic, the one with the NFC. So if you meet someone in the world, you can bump your phones, maybe get new levels and bonus features. Here we are, this one is looking pretty good. I guess that no matter how old your device is, this game will always work. Okay guys, this is the Nokia 700, a Symbian Belle device. As you can see, new widgets, new home screen, but also a lot of problems. I'm not happy with the scrolling in the app section. I'm not happy with the loading times. Also, I don't seem to find many interesting applications in the Nokia store. I don't know why. Yeah, either it's a bad season for application or simply there are none for this device. The diagonal is pretty small, the screen is pretty cramped. So if you try to type in, it's not so comfortable. The camera has fixed focus. The music is not so good when it comes to volume, so that's a disappointment. Overall, I was expecting more from the smallest smartphone ever, but this is considered a handset for the young businessman. That's how it's marketed. So you may want to give it a go. It's not so pricey. You can find it for around, let's say, $300 or so. So maybe it's worth the purchase, around $300 or $400. Maybe you'll buy it on contract and be happy with it. Well, that's all folks, this is gsmnote.com and this was the review of the Nokia 700. Hope you like it.